Howdy, it's Giggles. We're in Marion, Virginia. This is the 3/4 party. Oh yeah, I'll be back at the bar in a minute. Thanks. 3/4. We've made it 3/4. Got a quarter left. Southern Virginia, and I've gotten to Atkins, and a yellow blaze down here to Marion. So tomorrow I'm going to taking a 0 today. Tomorrow I'll be hiking from Atkins down here, and then I got a motel here. I'm going to wait out the weather, and then we have the Grayson Highlands. The Grayson Highlands are where the ponies are, the wild horses. We have Mount Rogers, the highest peak in Virginia. So in a few days I get to go up Mount Rogers, and it's been pretty good. It's good to be back on the trail. All the streams were frozen over this week until a few days ago. It got up to the 50s and 60s. That was great, except for the rain. I hiked 22 miles in the rain one day. The next day, rained in the afternoon, so I got in the shelter early and waited out till it froze. And the reason I did that is I didn't want wet clothes, I wanted dry clothes. I'd rather hike in the cold with dry clothes than hike in the cold with wet clothes, because that's dangerous. That's how you die. So it's good to be in a place with heater, and it's nice to have a place with a shower and running water. I want to put a big shout out to Ram Bunny. She's hiked the trail 3 times northbound. She attempted a southbound hike, made it down to New York, where she met her partner Aqua. I didn't get to meet him. But it was great to meet Ram Bunny, because not only was it good talking about through hiking, but she took me to church. And I went to a really neat church. She said, well, you want to go with me? I'm on my way. She basically picked me up in Atkins, delivered me to Marion. I said, yeah, I'll go to church. What type of church is it? Oh, it's non-denominational. It's really laid back. I said, sure. And I loved it. I usually don't like churches much. Sometimes I don't like the dogma. But this place was all right. And they had a guy from, he does mission work in Africa, and it was neat to see the film of what it looks like in Tanzania, or what they're doing to help these people. They work with supplying clean water. So I talked with the fella and asked him if he was familiar with the Sawyer system, because that's what we use on the trail a lot. Works well in Africa too. He wasn't familiar with that, but I also wanted to know. Well, hell, I'm really distracted. There's a lot of people moving by. I apologize. Got to see these pictures of what they're doing. They help people medically. One of the major concerns is feminine hygiene. So they're teaching ladies how to take care of themselves. These people live in mud huts, and they repair the mud huts with cow dung. So it's not the most clean conditions, but it's a beautiful country, mountainous. You have some savanna, elephants, lions, all that sort of stuff that you typically think of when you think of Africa. Beautiful people. They just need a little help. They need a little education. And these people send their hard-earned money to help these folks out, and that's what they're about. I talked with these people about my views on religion. They were really open-minded about it. I kind of have a little bit different ideas about God and Christianity and such. And they agreed with me when I talked about talking with the forest, and how, to me, that's like talking to God. It is, to me at least. It's the same thing. To me, God is everything. So that was a nice experience. They really wanted to hear about my hike, and I wanted to hear about Tanzania, and it was a cool deal. And then they had a spaghetti supper at the end, and it was just nice, really nice. The guy who sat beside me through the service is a father about my brother's age, and his son was born just a few days after my brother's daughter, which was cool. Child was very well behaved during the service, made very little noise. It was great. So, enjoying the trail again. It's really nice. Went by Dismal Falls. The waterfalls are 10, 15 feet tall, totally frozen over except for one little spot. Beautiful. I wanted to hike on, but I couldn't. I had to camp there because it was so beautiful. It's been a lot of fun, and it's good to be in town during football playoffs. I'm really looking forward to the next game. I'm picking New Orleans. Also want to give a shout out to Happy Traveler. I think I mentioned in the last podcast I was up on a ridge with a lot of beautiful stuff. I don't know how good that signal went out. I don't think I had video. She drove me from Johnson City up to Parisburg. It's a 2.5 hour drive, and I mean, who does that for you? It's just unbelievable, some of the magic you get on the trail. I've had word from Coffee Break that he is getting back on the trail in a few days. So cheers to you, Coffee Break. And I've been talking with Not Yet. He was disappointed that podcast on New Year's didn't go out. I said, well, maybe we can do a remote broadcast with you or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. He's in Fontana, which is darn near the end. He only has a few more days till he finishes the trail. He said the Smokies were awfully rough. I talked about the weather a little bit. I guess I should explain more. What happened, we had highs in the 60s with heavy rain, and within about 12 hours it went from the 60s into the 20s. I had frozen water very quickly. Tried to purify my water in the morning, and my Aquamira gelled up on me. So I don't even know if it worked. I didn't know that would happen. Now I know. So I don't know how I would prepare for that in the future, but it is what it is. We have a pretty decent forecast coming up. We have a few days where I'm going to stick in town. We got a high of 18 coming up. Lows in the single digits, so I'm going to stay in town for that. And then it looks like we have 4 or 5 days in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So that's when I'm going to hit the highlands, and I'm going to boogie and get on down to Damascus. Excited to get to Damascus, which is practically on the border of Tennessee. I wouldn't say I have the Virginia blues, but darn it, I'm tired of this damn state. I'm ready to get to Tennessee just to be different, you know. It has been beautiful here. The people are great, but I'm ready for a little something new. Is there anything else that I can update you on? I really can't think of anything else. It's been a good week. So I'm gonna watch some football. I got some lasagna to eat. I'll update you guys when I get to Damascus.